need something built? We have more
Going to a 1v1 on Angoville. This game is going to be PaoJ versus Paul. Apparently, Paul has informed me that PaoJ is a prominent streamer in the Chinese community. And Paul is Paul, who we all know and love. So we're going to see PaoJ is playing as close air support Oster in the south versus Paul's Soviets in the north. Double Pio into a machine gun opening for PaoJ. Interesting choice. Having gone close air support, I expect him to spam some flamethrowers early on, and he's going to try and use the machine gun to maybe, based on his movements, try and maintain control of his cutoff over here. Maybe try and control the fuel. Paul's going to go with a tier 1 opening into 2 squads of conscripts before, I guess, getting an M3. So, interesting choice. See if it works. Throws up a green cover position over here on the right side. That's going to be difficult to overwhelm. Combat engineers are moving to take control of the strategic points here left before making their way towards the fuel point. And that's Chinese, so I don't know what they're saying. But maybe people who do speak Chinese in the chat can shout it out. Conscripts jump into this building over here on the left side. Combat engineers continue their advance. Will be encountered by this squad of Pios. Over here on the right side, conscripts continue to just camp in green cover and deny this fuel to PaoJ. Second MG on the field, by the way. Double MG and 3 Pios is really weak initially. Really weak opening. As a result, Paul has both fuel points. Going to have one of the munitions points very soon. Conscripts engaging from a position inside this building against machine gun down here. Combat engineers up against these Pios. Until flamethrowers start hitting the field, this is going to be a very hard opening. He will have access to a flamethrower soon, though, thanks to the fact that he holds this munitions. If he didn't have that munitions, this would be extremely difficult. Pios will be forced to retreat from that M3, and it looks like he's going to lose control of the left side munitions point. He is going to harass that cutoff, so at least Paul won't have access to it. Ooh, Paul left his green cover position. Left his green cover position and walked into a machine gun. That's not good. Another squad of conscripts should probably just jump into the green cover and win the engagement, or move down here to flank. I don't know. I don't think I should try to avoid letting these Pios take control of this fuel point for sure. Machine gun doesn't quite have a line on those conscripts. They're gonna charge into green cover after whittling those conscripts down a little bit. Meanwhile, flamethrower upgrade completes on these combat engineers and will chase that squad back into the base. Pios are forced to retreat right here. There they go. Get away narrowly. This squad has to retreat thanks to that machine gun, which is also going to retreat from the M3 with the flamethrower inside. In fact, we might see everything retreat. I don't know. He looks like he's going to try and fight off the M3. He might be able to burst it down. Paul's not going to engage. He's going to pull away from this. Doesn't like that engagement. So, notably, Paul will have both fuel points after that engagement. He will restore control of the cutoff on the left side. The M3 will stay alive and continue to be a threat to anything that harasses over here on the left. But the fact that Paul was forced to retreat from that engagement a little bit means that these machine guns are going to take this opportunity to advance, take control of some territory over here on the right side. And the first flamethrower has completed, tier 2 going up now. Second flamethrower will be arriving soon, since Paul has never found an opportunity to decapture that munitions point. Munitions coming in pretty quickly here.
Engineer standing by. White scout car, ready for orders. MG, keep your heads down!
I missed this engagement. I should have paused. What happened? What did I miss, you guys? Conscripts will be forced to retreat over here. This squad jumping into the victory point as well. This conscript squad will get the munitions captured and start taking control of the victory point over here on the left. PaoJ take control of the strategic point. These PaoJ take control of this cutoff, and Paul actually looks like he's struggling a little bit against this 3 MG3 PaoJ opening. Keeps walking into the arc fire machine guns and forced retreat. He will get some healing done here in the base. Once the M3 is repaired and the flamethrowers back inside, he should probably be able to force retreats from MGs, but 221's on the field. No 222 upgrade though, and Paul has chosen tank hunter tactics, so he will have PTRSs on his conscripts soon. He's got 100 munitions of his own for that upgrade. And without a 222 upgrade, this isn't that serious of a threat to the scout car. It should be able to get to safety easily enough. These two squads making their way up the left side will get suppressed, unfortunately. Paul trying to spread out. That squad's just going to have to retreat. And over here on the right side, conscripts trying to cross the road might get forced to retreat by the scout car. This squad hasn't really participated in engagements at all, just continues harassing territory on the left. And it looks like Paul, being really spread out, has a tendency to keep walking into machine guns or get cleaned up by the scout car. So he's kind of struggling. A little bit. His map control's not as good as it could be, and against close air support, that's going to be bad. That is going to be bad later.
The enemy is encroaching on our territory. We have more conscripts at our disposal. Your predecessor died a hero.
This M3 is going to circle around this building right here. Will force a retreat from that machine gun. Wow, what? Is that like a thing where is that like a bug where sometimes the squad just doesn't retreat, it just like jumps out of the building and then like dies? They do spam the mug emote too much. People really like that emote. I'm just kidding, it's impossible to spam that emote too much. It's impossible to spam that emote enough.
Enemy forces capturing supply sectors.
Ooh, there's the 222 upgrade finally, giving PaoJ access to redistribute resources right there to really start cranking up the flamethrower production. His decision to go Teller Mine has slowed down his upgrades, as you can see, only one flamethrower, and healing, and the 222. So yeah, not a whole lot of upgrades. One of his machine guns did get wiped and stolen here in the north. Paul will use that to start capturing territory here on the right side. And PaoJs are going to start getting control of the left side, victory point, and fuel. Flamethrowers being fired into the building, not doing too much yet. Focus firing on conscripts rather than the flamethrower in the house. Might cost him his engagement. There he goes. Focus fires the flamethrower in the building. Almost brings him down with that burst, but will be forced to retreat. Didn't feel comfortable sticking around in that engagement, and there they go.
Red Army, at your service. Okay, that's the last one. Enemy machine gun!
MG42 setting up in the green cover position right here, and Paul has started fielding PTRSs. He does have 2 PTRS upgrades on his conscripts, forcing retreats from that MG42. Just sniping them even though they were in green cover, and that scout car will definitely have to keep its distance from those conscript squads now. MG42 firing on PaoJ squads over here on the right side. And these squads will continue to make their way towards the south. That stolen MG42 is forced to retreat there from the right side. Oh my god, my chat is making me chuckle. I can't focus on this intense competitive 1v1 action, you guys. Please. Flamethrowers will win this engagement and force those conscripts to retreat, but these squads over here on the left side will take this territory and force a full retreat from the MG42 and scout car right here.
The enemy is encroaching on our territory. You have orders? That was not so hard, comrades.
Combat engineers build this tier 3 structure and a bunch of squads reinforcing and healing here in the base. Paul's up to 4 squads with PTRSs now, which is basically going to make this unit useless. it's able to engage against the flamethrowers actually, but pretty much nothing else. Plus the MG42 has been stolen, so Paul's kind of game swinging in his favor a little bit. He does have that very strong tank hunter tactics early game. T-70 is in production now as well, having gone tier 3. But he will have to be careful of teller mines. Was about to plant one right there, changed his mind apparently. These 3 squads are going to head left with a flamethrower to start putting pressure on this machine gun.
Supply sector under attack.
HMG ready for X. They've opened up on us.
We are losing territory.
MG42 backpedals away from the flamethrowers and faces left, but gets flanked by another flamethrower over here. That's 5 flamethrowers, by the way. Just massive flamethrower spam up against PTRS spam, and it's kind of hard to tell. Kind of hard to tell which one is winning. Of course, the advantage of PTRS spam is that it doesn't have to be afraid of light vehicles, whereas flamethrowers have no counter to the T-70, which will have no problem forcing those back into the base. One squad forced to retreat already. There goes another. This one probably also going to have to retreat soon. The first AT gun's out just in time to counter that T-70, and I don't see any good teller mines down right now that can defend against that. He was about to plant one more, but changed his mind. So it doesn't look like there's any counter to that T-70 besides the AT gun, which will get a shot off on the T-70 and force it to pull back for repairs somewhere. All should be careful about crossing. If only he was planting that teller mine right there. If only he had. I don't know why he changed his mind. If only he had, and that would be a dead T-70 right now. Late retreat on the flamethrower. I don't think he notices this engagement, or maybe he just didn't think he had any chance of getting away. Or maybe he wanted to bait that T-70 and sticking around until his AT gun showed up, but either way, T-70 gets away clean. AT gun does not get in range to finish it off, and that flamethrower squad will go down, which I think might be the first wipe of the game. If you don't include the scout car. Yeah, Paul has lost nothing. PaoJ has lost only... Wait, no. God damn it. Oh, he lost the MG42. I forgot about that, of course. So MG42 has been stolen by Paul. That flamethrower wipe is the first infantry squad support, whatever. Yeah, wipe. So very non-lethal game so far, despite a lot of kills on both sides. 43 to 37 at 15 minutes. Pretty high lethality. But very few wipes. Good unit preservation this game by both players. And both of them still have their light vehicle / light tank. Conscripts jump into some green cover over here on the right side. These squads making their way down the center will reconnect the cutoff. And a hard defense is being set up over here on the right. Flamethrower spam to force the conscripts from cover, and a T-gun wall to try and shut down that T-70 if it gets too aggressive. Because he chooses to engage over here on the right side, he may struggle a little bit to get a line on the T-70 with his AT guns though. And PTRSs are definitely bleeding. Goes to advance, and machine gun's gonna get suppressed right there by the stolen machine gun, and these infantry get sniped a little bit by PTRSs as they try and close the distance. Here comes the AT gun wall to try and take out that T-70. And the 222 is engaging against more PTRSs here in the south. That scout car will get to safety right there, and the AT guns will get shots off on the T-70 right here, but it gets a lucky main gun destroy crit and will get away to safety. The scout car, in significant danger here in the south, will also get to safety, just barely. Both players preserving their light vehicle by a sliver of health or with an extremely lucky crit Nice attempt with those AT guns to take that T-70 down, and it only just very narrowly survives. In the aftermath of that engagement, Paul has much more squads left at full health on the front line with which to take map control, as Minesweeper pilots will grab the cutoff and conscripts are moving to take control of the victory point and various points over here on the right side. Munitions still PaoJ's control and strategic points still in PaoJ's control. These squads will have no problem shutting down this. Ooh, these snipes! That might get wiped before the anti-infantry strafe even arrives! Haystack blocks the final shot. MG wall will suppress those PTRS conscripts as they advance and force a retreat. Meanwhile, Paul, getting pretty much everything under control over here on the right side, throws down some sandbags to block this approach, and also some more green cover here on the victory point, and moves to get some territory captured over here while he maintains building control with this flamethrower, and he's got a demo charge on there to punish anything that gets inside. Although I learned that if this building has full health, the demo charge won't destroy it or wipe the squad in it sometimes. Since this building has been lightly roasted, cooked to a golden brown. Texture. Demo charge will probably destroy it, I think. Could be wrong about that though. Teller mine goes down right there, and the T-70 fully repaired is ready to make its way back to the battlefield. Scout car still needs some repairs set up here. With the AT gun wall and another cutoff attempt by this flamethrower. T-70 moves with PTRS conscripts to try and push these Oster forces off the battlefield. PaoJ rotating to the left side should be able to take this engagement though. He's got an MG42 set up right there. Stolen MG42 making a push from the right side though. One MG here to protect against this approach, another MG here to protect against the flank from this direction, and the AT gun wall is going to rotate to try and fire on the T-70. Attacking ground, I think, or no, with the Scout car providing vision, and the Teller mine will destroy it. Very nice. Very nice play by PaoJ using the Scout car to spot for his AT guns. Unfortunately, the conscripts will kill the Scout car with their PTRSs, and Paul is upgrading with a salvage kit over here to salvage the M3, get a little bit, wow, he has a lot of manpower. Get a little bit of manpower and fuel coming in from the wreck of the M3 and possibly also the wreck of this T-70 right here. Flamethrower will push away that squad right there. Flamethrower making its way up the right should be maybe be able to get a little territory captured. It looks like the engagement for this general area is still going on, but I don't know if Paul's going to be able to win with what few forces he has left in the area. MG rotating to face south. This stolen MG has actually moved up closer into this engagement, but it will be a little exposed to a flank from the Oster base. This squad gets suppressed by the machine gun up here. This machine gun will be forced to retreat after falling a little low, and the AT guns are trying to make it back to the safety of the Oster base, taking a little damage from PTRSs, but I think they should be able to get away. This flamethrower squad is just sitting over here. Needs to keep moving and capture something, even though it probably can't safely capture the cutoff. There it goes. We'll at least work on decapturing this point and maybe slowing down Paul's economy a little. Paul will locate a Teller mine, 2 Teller mines in fact, over here on the left side with his Minesweeper. Nice minesweeping right there. Get both of those Teller mines cleared up. Flamethrower fight over here on the right side. Could maybe go either way. It looks like it will go in PaoJ's favor. Paul will leave the building after being flanked from 2 separate directions and retreat.
We are losing a sector.
Pilots force a retreat from the flanking conscript squad. More are making their way out of the base here, and Paul is up to 1,400 manpower and 250 fuel. It's a little weird. I wonder why he's floating so much. He's queued up a... nope. T-70, no, cancel. Half track, no, cancel. Queue up another T-70, still doesn't seem to know for sure what he wants. He hasn't salvaged this, I guess he hasn't quite found an opportunity to do so. Another teller mine in the road, but I think Paul saw it getting planted, and more conscripts jumping into green cover over here on the left will set up sandbags and force a retreat from that flamethrower. But over here on the right side, flamethrowers will be able to take control of some territory unopposed for now, while Paul is occupied with the engagement over here on the left. Once the T-70 is done, Paul will have to be very careful. He knows there's a teller mine right there. Probably doesn't know about that one. He just swept 2 teller mines up here in the north. They're everywhere. So he's gonna have to make sure not to hit one this time. MG42s plus 2 AT guns here on the left side. Push away the salvage kit. Was trying to salvage that. I don't think they salvaged it very much though right there. MG42 does push away 1 flamethrower and move to capture the fuel. T-70 being a little dangerous over here on the right side without minesweeper support. I don't think Paul is really swept in this area. It's dangerous to go through these routes. That route could have been dangerous. Didn't sweep any of those locations. Fortunately, no teller mines there. Got a little bit lucky. Despite the fact that there were PaoJs hanging out over there just a second ago, there definitely could have been one.
Soldiers ready.
Paul will make his way back towards this cutoff, throws PTRSs in the building. Flamethrower takes control of the strategic and victory points next, and a couple squads spreading out to take territory over here. Flamethrower will push away the minesweeper, and it looks like PaoJ is going to try and set up a defensive line here on the left side again. Didn't Paul even see that one getting planted? Maybe that was a new one. Well, there goes another T-70 to teller mines. Paul spent a bunch of manpower just now on tier 2, I think. Right? I think he just built a tier 2. Oh, and fielded 2 mortars. Interesting. So 2 mortars on the field to help him against this close air support team weapon spam.
Supply lines have been cut.
That'll get his manpower flow down significantly. Over here on the right side, needs to keep some squads moving. I think even Paul is struggling to micro his army when it gets to this size. 2 mortars he has to micro, a stolen machine gun, 5 conscripts, and 3 combat engineers. He has units all over the map, so even Paul's gonna have a few idle squads while he tries to figure out what to do here.
Combat engineers.
Salvage kit will salvage this T-70, get some of that investment back. See that it's manpower and fuel taking up a little bit, recover some of that loss. Against tank hunter tactics, it's very important to try to destroy wrecks with AT guns or whatever if you can find an opportunity to prevent your opponent from getting his resources back after losing his tanks. MG42 finds an opportunity against 2 squads of PaoJs over here, and another flamethrower is inside the building. No demo charge usage though. There he goes. Flamethrower will get wiped, the building is destroyed, and everything will have to retreat from the right side. Meanwhile, Paul has a huge blob of conscripts moving up the left, but they walk right into a machine gun and take an anti-infantry strafe. So that shuts that right down. Paul will be forced to retreat back to base. T-70 is on its way to support in this engagement, and fortunately that teller mine right there never completed, and he should cancel that if he's not going to complete it to get the munitions back. So this T-70 looks like it will survive this attack. Paul is still floating resources like crazy. I feel like Paul might just not be sure what he should build with his massive amount of resources. Meanwhile, his opponent, keeping his resource count quite low, is struggling to keep up. A T-gun volley doesn't quite connect, and the T-70 should be able to get to safety. PTRS will get pushed away by the MG42 right there. Double mortar moving up right there, also forced to retreat by an anti-tank strafe, which brings the squads a little bit low but doesn't do anything too serious. Paul should probably be able to get those back to the front line soon. MG42 protecting this avenue of approach is just going to keep forcing troops back into the base. They need to find another way to get through here. The sandbags blocking this angle make it difficult to flank through here, but that squad does make it all the way around this route and force a retreat right there.
The enemy is encroaching on our territory.
Paul is going to use the resources he got from salvaging to field 3 more T-70s and just try and overwhelm his opponent with a massive amount of light tanks.
Conscripts here. Pack here.
Brief ceasefire while a couple of squads move to retake control on the right side. I feel like a non-coordinated effort by the Oster to take control of one side of the map is kind of making things difficult to win an engagement anywhere. Although harassing multiple locations simultaneously has resulted in him having a decent amount of income, but he's struggling to win engagements. And you can tell that he's really falling behind Paul economically. Minesweeper revealed the teller mine right there, I think. But it's retreating now, so it may recloak, but I'm pretty sure Paul sees that. Maybe. There's a lot of stuff to monitor right now. Flamethrower on the left side engaging these PTRSs. T-70 moves to engage against this flamethrower squad. 2 more collecting here in the base. 4th one in production now. MG42 working on the right side, and the infantry strafe will pin down these conscripts and force them to retreat. Here comes the T-70. Oh my god, that shot just detonated a teller mine. That was so lucky. You would have driven right over that. Oh no, T-70s will have no problem against these AT guns and clear them both before moving to dodge the anti-tank strafe. Or no, anti-tank bomb run on the anti-tank guns, but it doesn't really do anything to them. I mean, it's sort of, it brought them pretty low. PTRSs will be able to finish them off easily enough. T-70 moves to push these flamethrowers back into the base, and I don't know if there's going to be anything PaoJ can do to recover from that. Telemines help, though. They definitely help. Oh, main gun destroyed. Man, come on. That's 2 main gun destroyed crits that Paul has gotten. That probably doesn't even matter, though. These 2 are going to get fully repaired, and he has still got a massive amount of resources in the bank. Even after losing those 2 T-70s, it just makes no difference. Even after going tier 2 for 2 mortars with a 5 conscript, 3 combat engineer build, he still somehow has massive float at 88 of 100 pop cap. And his opponent is desperately spending resources as fast as he can and accomplishing nothing. PTRS will destroy 1 AT gun over here. This one is going to get destroyed any second. These 3 squads making their way right to engage against an MG42 and the double mortar. I mean, if this PTRS blob can't kill that, the 2 mortars certainly will be able to.
We are losing a sector.
1 squad of conscripts wiped over here on the left side, though. A brief glimmer of hope. 2 T-70s move to probably seal this game. They're completely uncountered by anything other than teller mines and prayers. Paul will force a retreat and pop a flamethrower right there and advance into PaoJ's base. Another T-70 engaging in the middle forces this retreat. These 2 T-70s diving. There is 1 AT gun set up. Here comes an anti-tank bomb run on the Oster base, and everything is fluffed. This could be catastrophic damage. Oh! Not as bad as I thought it was going to be, though. Wipes a machine gun, doesn't do anything too serious beyond that. Bios get cleared just in time. The stolen PTRS is actually plinking away at that T-70. The other one pulls out of the base entirely. This one hit a mine in the road. This one comes dangerously close to being destroyed. Another main gun destroyed. Crit on a teller mine over here. Wow, that's 3 potentially dead T-70s that are not dead. Wait, also including this one. Did every single T-70 get critted this game? I can't believe how many death crits Paul got. In all fairness, I don't think it matters. I'm pretty sure even if they had all died instead of getting crit, the game's over. Either way, they're gonna die anyway, as far as I can tell. There goes that one. Fresh T-70 making its way onto the battlefield to push PaoJ back into his base. This T-70 being repaired right here. If these wrecks don't get destroyed, Paul can just salvage them and probably get 3 T-70s worth of resources back anyway.
Our territory is falling into enemy hands.
More wipes, more retreats, and PaoJ is reduced to 3 Pio squads and a machine gun. So that is definitely GG. Couple mines swept up. Man, some seriously intense teller mine spam to try and counter the T-70 spam. which should have probably worked a little better.
Enemy is taking our territory.
But it actually it worked quite well. It did work quite well. Paul swept up a lot of Teller mines, so well played, Paul, on sweeping up those mines. And really, I think this game came down to just not being able to counter conscripts with PTRSs. A stolen machine gun produced a huge momentum swing. I mean, imagine if Paul had not had this unit the entire game. He's Vet 3 and has 35 kills. Better preservation of that machine gun and all team weapons in general certainly could have helped. PaoJ just could not set up a coordinated frontline defense. Paul will take the game. Good game. Allies win.